For centuries, this question seemed irrelevant. But what if I told you that the answer reveals a dark secret buried between the lines of the Bible? Who died first, Adam or Eve? Scripture speaks clearly about Adam's death, but when it comes to Eve, there is a mysterious silence. No line, no date, no farewell. Was this forgotten or hidden on purpose? Because when the Bible is silent, that's when the real enigma begins. The order of death among them is not merely a matter of chronology. It carries symbolic, spiritual, and prophetic weight. And what you're about to discover in this video could change the way you see Genesis, and maybe even your own life. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like now, because each new subscriber helps this message reach those who are still spiritually asleep. Prepare to face a truth that time has tried to erase, and that today, finally, it will be revealed. The Bible clearly states, "And the days of Adam were 930 years, and he died." Adam's death is recorded with almost clinical precision, a full stop, a solemn closing of a cycle. But what about Eve? Not a single line, not a single word, no burial. What would have happened to the woman who gave birth to humanity, the first to eat of the fruit, the first to feel shame, the first to hear God's judgment on childbirth, desire, and submission? Why was his death, unlike Adam's, ignored? Was it simply an oversight or a deliberate silence? Because when God is silent, he doesn't ignore. He reveals in due time to those who dare to listen. Some theologians call this a sacred omission, a void that carries more weight than 1,000 words. The absence of Eve's death is not an absence of meaning. It is a key to something deeper. And from now on, we're going to turn that key together. Because in the shadows of forgotten texts, there are stories that time has tried to bury, but they continue to whisper to those who have ears. While the Bible is silent about Eve's death, some ancient texts scream about it. In apocryphal Jewish writings, such as the Book of Jubilees or the Apocalypse of Moses, we find fragments that suggest Eve died before Adam as an inevitable consequence of her choice in Eden. In one of these versions, Eve falls ill with deep sorrow after Abel's death, and Adam, in tears, silently watches over her body, burying her with his own hands. It's an image laden with pain, but also with purpose. Other rabbinical traditions say that Adam lived longer than Eve, precisely to witness, to the end, the consequences of the sin that they both initiated. Some say that God allowed him to survive, not as a reward, but as a living witness to the ruin of creation. And here comes the first major twist. Their death is not just a matter of time, but of justice. Whoever died first might reveal who faced immediate judgment and who had to carry the weight for the longest time. Now tell me, that was simply a biological choice or a prophetic pronouncement. If this silence about Eve bothers you as much as it bothers me, share this video with someone who always thought they knew Genesis, and comment below. God's silence also speaks. But what if the death order isn't just a detail in the narrative? What if it carries a deep spiritual meaning that is escaping most people? Forget about time, forget about numbers. The death of Adam or Eve is not simply a matter of who died first, but of what that order represents in the divine plan. The death of Adam, recorded and detailed, may symbolize the judgment upon all of humanity. He was the first man, the head of creation. His downfall was everyone's downfall. Eve, on the other hand, represents the beginning of disobedience. She was the first to hear the lie, the first to touch the fruit, the first to witness creation unravel in a single act. So, Why wasn't his death recorded? Some scholars suggest that Eve represents more than one person. She's a symbol of the church, of spiritual feminine humanity, of the womb of life, and of pain. His silent death may be a prophetic echo, a warning about how the deepest wounds of the soul are the ones that go unrecorded, and how, even today, many still die inside without leaving a trace. Even Adam, despite his fall, had his death acknowledged, because his role was public. He represented visible judgment. Eva may have died first, but Adam died as a symbol of the ultimate price. But what if the silence surrounding Eve's death is not carelessness, nor a symbol, but divine strategy? Because what God hasn't revealed may be protecting something much bigger. Throughout the Bible, silence is never empty. When God chooses not to speak, it is because it is meant to be discovered, not just read. And the silence surrounding Eva's death is too loud to ignore. Some scholars believe that this silence was a divine way of concealing the original pain. As if, by not recording her death, God was sparing us from reliving the grief of the first woman, the first mother, the first to bear the guilt of the world. Others go even further. They say that Eve was erased from the final narrative because she became corrupted beyond redemption. Some suggest that his death preceded Adam's, but was so marked by anguish and despair that it was excluded as a sign of silent judgment. But there is also a more symbolic and dangerous interpretation. Eve's death was not recorded because her role is not yet finished. She would be the image of the church. And as long as there is a chance of redemption, the spiritual death of the church remains suspended, awaiting a decision. Silence may not be forgetfulness. It may be a warning, an echo that echoes through the centuries, asking, will you also die in silence or awaken before it's too late? Because in the end, this question was never about dates. It was about legacy, judgment, and choice. So, who died first? The truth is, perhaps that was never the right question. Because in heaven, time is different. And before God, death is not measured in years, but in purpose. Adam died burdened by judgment. Eve perhaps died in silence, as a reflection of a guilt the world wasn't ready to understand. One death was recorded, the other forgotten. But both left a mark that spans the centuries. Sin has a price, and so does silence. This story isn't just about them. It's about me. It's about you. Because even today, thousands are repeating the same pattern, eating the fruit, ignoring the warning, dying inside in silence. The question now is, will you be the one who bears visible judgment, or the one who disappears from history as if you never fought? If this resonated with you, comment below. Even in silence, I stand firm in the truth. And if you've stayed this far, it's because this message reached you. So like the video and subscribe now, because in the next one, we're going to reveal the woman who cursed a prophet and was judged for something no man noticed.